like you were explaining there, Jesse, the cultural shift that's going on. I guess it's a world.
To be a part of that, to be around the edge of it,
Yeah.
the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to meet Jesse Jackson. Didn't meet Martin Luther King, just missed him once, but I don't remember that name, Jesse Jackson. There were a bunch of other people too, you know. Just,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
You met Shriver, the Kennedy.
Oh yeah, Sergeant
Sergeant
Shriver.
Shriver, his husband.
That was when I went to the city.
Special Olympics.
Oh, the Special Olympics for handicapped kids. They started in Ohio.
Yeah.
So I was sent on that mission to Chicago for their first. Yeah.
So it started in Ohio?
Yeah, the Special Olympics. I guess I was doing that.
We probably should go. Yeah. And then,
Gerald Ford. I have a picture of him somewhere. Gerald Ford.
Yeah.
I have Ashley
Well,
Bailey.
that was years later.
Yeah.
Ferguson, right?
I have Ashley Bailey. I went to that group, but I also went to the one with Ford.
Well, one thing I learned when I've been in Hartford for these big civic meetings that you're expected to show, you invite in famous people and boy, does that draw people.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah. But I don't have that picture.
yeah, we're going to get the food.
You know, I've got picture mom has of her.
With
No, go out there, though.
anyway, sorry to go on that.
No, yeah, we love hearing it. We love hearing it.
It's quite a background, yes.
Oh, I love that. History means a lot to me.
Well, it was unique. I mean, I felt blessed to have gone through this.
Yeah.
We moved around a lot, but to me, kids, Mom took the burden of that always.
She's always had to, stay behind. You went ahead and then she'd go, grab me,
Yes.
babysit. Well, that blizzard in Denver.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a blizzard.
We were jumping off, the boys were jumping off the house because the snow drifts were so high. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We took in a field.
They're like, welcome to Colorado.
We moved
Oh
around
yeah,
a
the
lot.
cab driver in the chair.
Because with that background,
Aw.
people were looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like three.
You're probably invited me.
Well,
He was.
It was a unique small field, economic development, and just fortunate to have worked for these leaders. And see that? You understand that, Jordan? I worked for two prominent Democrats.
Yes, sir. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way it should be, right?
So you get mad at me, remember that.
We have disagreements.
Bipartisanship.
John Gilligan's daughter ended up being Barack Obama's director of Health and Human Services. She, in effect, wrote the Obamacare. What was her name?
I didn't realize that.
Kathleen Sebelius. I think was her name. Gilligan was a Notre Dame grad. That didn't have anything to do with
Oh, was
it.
he? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. I think he went to, I forgot. Bachelor's in Master's or something. But he was a good guy. We got to, in those jobs, there was a lot of fun to it besides the tensions and things. I remember with Gilligan, he used to hold meetings at his home for corporate executives. So naturally our department was involved in that from around the country. In fact, when you worked at Nationwide, one of the chairman of Nationwide we hosted I sent you a letter years ago that we received from you.
I sort of remember. I have it somewhere.
that?
You were ready to mix and
Well,
everything.
I mean, at least in those geographical locales, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Once in a while I get into the internet and try and go back and look at things and remind myself some of these people. But Stokes was a good guy. He was really a strong black nationalist, but he was smart about it. He knew what he had to do because the blacks were a minority in Cleveland, and yet he got elected. So he had white people all over his staff, but he gave a lot of jobs to blacks in the administration, which he should have. Anyway, funny that so some of it's in that scrapbook.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah, don't get me talking.
Whatever happened to that big desk?
What?
Remember the big, huge desk? You think it came from Stokes' office?
Desk?
A desk. It was enormous.
We
had
You
it at
guys
our
had it in
house?
the basement. Yeah, you guys, we had it
It was still in the basement.
in Columbus. I don't know whatever happened. Mom must have
It
sold
was in
it.
our basement, wasn't it?
Not the new base. That was a different desk.
Oh, okay.
You know, this was a big,
Desk.
The different
two
big
knee
desk.
holes. It was like a two-sided desk.
It came from the city?
I think that, yeah. That's
Or
what
I
I
don't
remember.
remember anything about that.
I barely do, but something about a desk. Anyway, it's fun to hear.
That is fun.
Brian.
Well, those jobs were tough on the family, though. They had to move around.
We didn't, I don't think anyone cared.
Jack, how was it that you got recruited to Colorado? You were in Scranton?
Yeah, for the chamber.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
So
Who contacted you?
who was it? They came looking, I guess.
Mom just always would say, headhunters.
That's right,
Well, let's see. How did we get to Denver? Let's see. Where were we? In Scranton?
Were you in,
Sarah Scranton.
Let me think. Scranton, where's it?
Pennsylvania,
Okay.
eastern
Yeah.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
house on Stone Hill, and then
So it was, we went from Connecticut to Scranton. Right?
no, yes, and then
Yeah, Scranton.
Okay, so I got recruited.
and then to Denver.
President Chamber, they just called or something. He was. I can't remember why he was looking at me.
and then
Why they were looking at Hartford, but I can't remember why.
Matt said he went out to Colorado with you. I think it was Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
And he didn't know you were interviewing about a job for that trip.
Oh, we did?
Oh no, I wasn't. We came out. I was with the chamber or something, and we came out for a week's chamber of commerce training or something like
Ah.
that.
So that's just something there.
And then I remember Matt saying the next day, or we were at a hotel right in Boulder, and the mountains were right there. And he said, "I want to move here." And sure enough, we went to Colorado.
Wow.
And I forgot how we got into it.
Now, I saw in the scrapbook there were multiple letters from people in Pennsylvania thanking you for your time there and wishing you the best of luck in Colorado. Yeah. So you you were well thought of where you were. That was nice to see.
So many of the letters, most of them that I remember really were from Cleveland to Columbus.
There were,
This community thought I would be good coming back into their
Uh-huh.
chamber and everything. Instead, I went to work for the government. Anyway.
so of all the houses you lived in, Jack, which was your favorite?
Well, the Pennsylvania house, I think we built
We
the.
built it, yeah. Mom had
I don't remember a whole lot about the inside, but I remember the outside. It was so beautiful. The front deck, we had a deck in the front, so looking out over the hills.
Put your wine over. Did Jason go with them?
Did I ever tell you that story about Scranton? That's funny. When we had Ford coming in
No.
the night before. And you, I may have told you as well, if it's redundant, I apologize. But, we had Gerald Ford coming in to speak, and then that was arranged through the congressman. And he was, I think he was an ex-president by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't an active president, he was former
Still
president.
a
But Congressman, he was a Republican, so he got Gerald Ford to come in and speak.
Okay.
Well, the town of Scranton was named after the Scranton family.
Oh,
Okay?
what?
Yeah, William W. Scranton. He was a UN ambassador, and governor of Pennsylvania, and former and all that. His son became governor too. Anyway, so the night before we had Ford coming in, I'm on my knees scrubbing the kitchen floor because Larry and Teresa are coming in. True story, I'm not exaggerating, I'm scrubbing the floor. And I get a call from Bill Scranton's son. And he lived across the street from us, didn't he?
In Connecticut?
Pennsylvania?
In Scranton, yeah.
In Waverly?
Didn't he live across the street from us?
Oh,
No,
that was the
Mud
Chamberlains.
Puddle's dad, that was the barn.
Chamberlains. The Chamberlains.
Oh, the Chamberlains.
But anyway,
Okay,
I don't
You
know.
get a call.
Scranton's son calls.
okay.
Maybe Chamberlain.
And here he was, you know, Scranton's is this highfalutin thing, the city's named after,
Yeah.
former UN ambassador. Asking my permission
That's here.
for Gerald Ford to stay at the Scranton's house.
Oh, really?
And you're on your hands and knees scrubbing the floor.
That's awesome.
Because I had a rough time in Scranton, getting started there and everything. It was not easy. I was an outsider.
Yeah.
You guys didn't sense that, but that was a little tight-knit
It's
community.
old, it's the old East, old money.
Oh, the old money, the highfalutin
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
and here we
You were
asked
asked
my
permission.
permission for them to stay in Scranton's house. And Scranton was his former UN ambassador. Really funny. Well, yes, of course.
What are you gonna say?
That's hilarious.
You should say
If
no.
Greg doesn't want him, we'll take him.
You should have said, no, I'm scrubbing the floors, I'm not gonna stay here.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
No button. Well, the security was an issue because the next night we had this big dinner at the Masonic Temple there. It was the biggest place we could find, and God, we were making so many people mad because they couldn't get into the private party before and all this. And
Yeah,
the
Lori was
dinner
there.
is sold out. And yeah, there's pictures of Lori there. And, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway,
Emily Bailey was there.
Not that one, that was a different.
yeah,
one.
I learned that in Scranton, or in Hartford, because the Hartford Chamber was really good at that. They would hold their annual dinners, but they'd always have a very prominent speaker, well known. So, yeah,
Was that Lee Bailey, Pennsylvania, or?
Pennsylvania.
yeah,
Yeah.
F.A. Bailey,
Because
there
I
was
came home from
there were,
college.
these, TV commentators early in TV, Shane Alexander, James J. Kilpatrick and Shane Alexander. Yeah, Ford, F. Lee Bailey. Who else do we have?
Tell Jesse who Emily Bailey is.
Oh, he defended, he was a very famous attorney that defended Sam Shepard in one of his trials.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a whole other
Yeah.
story. It's murder his wife and
Yes, good name, Sam Shepard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my high school team's football director.
yeah, and he was accused of murdering his wife.
Yeah, on July 4th, 19.
What was the movie called?
The fugitive.
The Fugitive, yeah.
Based loosely on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The movie The Fugitive years back,
On
With,
the
story of the
Harrison
murder
Ford?
in Ohio. The doctor was accused of murdering his wife, and
famous for it too. Sam was, he was our team doctor, was his son, and he fixed me up with a girl in high school. The father, they were new to the town. The Shepherd family had a hospital, and I took a liking to the daughter, and so the administrator of the hospital asked Sam, Shepherd's owned that hospital. You know, what about me? And Sam gave me the, okay, to date this girl. What was her name?
Doesn't really matter.
What was her?
Well, and fast forward.
Years later, though, Mary and I were, Sam served some time in jail, and then he got loose.
15 years and he got acquitted.
Yeah, he got acquitted, and then he
Because
was
they
out,
realized he didn't murder.
and he married some woman from Sweden or something. Anyway, Mary and I were young marrieds then in Cleveland, and we were up in Fairview Park having dinner one night, and in walked Sam with his bride.
Oh,
And so Mary had known she was following this Shepherd case,
Yeah.
reading it, you know, it was in the papers. And so I introduced her. He didn't really remember me. He had been
Oh,
through
he
so
didn't.
much.
Yeah.
He-
Well, you said he went a little crazy at being in jail.
you know, I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're accused of murdering your wife.
And mom's still like, you're
And
rotten.
it's been 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
That's traumatic.
So these were funny times, you know.
So, Dad, I don't know if you, I think you remember, fast forward all these years into Colorado, and you have held your annual with the Adams County Economic Development before your retirement. You held all your annual meetings at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
And I
You
was
worked
director of catering at
That's
the
right,
Holiday
you
Inn.
worked there. Oh,
And
wow.
so I
Yeah.
then hosted your last yearly annual meeting there. You had one of our newscasters there was the special guest.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and, but it was amazing, I felt very proud that
Oh, yeah?
I was hosting his last yearly annual.
Well, I had learned
Hundreds
how
of
to put on these big events,
Yeah,
you
there
know,
were
and
hundreds
draw
of
people.
people, yeah,
Yeah,
and it was very nice, so I got to do that.
yeah, well, that's good, I didn't realize that, I forgot about that.
Yeah. All his annual meetings, the last one I got to host.
So, it was a fun time.
Yeah.
Lincoln's a lot different than
You
that.
are.
Lincoln's a lot different, we drove through it.
Is it?
The house is a little overgrown.
Yeah, oh, yeah. What, in Connecticut? Oh, yeah,
And
it's
then-
really overgrown.
I don't recognize.
Where, Pennsylvania or?
No, in Connecticut.
Oh, well, the house, or the tree fell through the.
Right.
I was right when they signed the contract in the house.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they pulled away from, after that. They
Remember we
were-
hosted, did you guys, remember, were you old enough, we hosted the basketball team?
Yes,
Did you?
yeah.
The, Harlem Road Trials, the Harlem.
Well,
Road
they, no,
No,
they
they
were
were
the,
the
they
Hartford.
were the
Oh.
Hartford something or other.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a minor league basketball team.
What were they? I remember that.
We were
I
pretty
remember
special.
Consolidated. That was pretty cool. Good times.
Yeah, Larry and Tracy used to come up to
Yeah.
Strand for those annual dinners all the time.
Love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
they-
that was-
Yeah, they got a picture with Gerald Ford.
yeah.
And they printed that in that Clearfield paper, and
Exactly.
Larry was just such a big deal.
Yep. Small town Clearfield.
His chest went out.
That's great. Prez.
Good stories. I remember in Scranton, you used to go to the office on Saturdays in Scranton.
Really?
Down to the chamber, and I always wanted to come with you to play on the Xerox machines and stuff. Always, I used to go, you'd give me pads of paper, and I would just play.
In that
I played
scrapbook,
office.
you'll see a picture of Mary sitting, I think, right next to him before the,
Yeah.
one of
He's
the years.
taken.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I got to do the seating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the best thing I told Mom. Mom was like, oh my God. She loved that.
Yeah, I placed her right there, I think.
Next to the
She was
prison.
next to Scranton.
Isn't that crazy? Sometimes in our family.
Oh, my goodness.
We had a Monsignor from one of the Catholic churches there. Monsignor started one of the big phone companies or something. Anyway, Monsignor McGowan was the funniest guy I ever watched. We had him as an MC. And I still remember how he opened that speech. He said, "Oh, I'm so glad, you know, to host this, for Mr. Ford to come and host you and help out this Chamber of Commerce, because if there ever was a Chamber of Commerce that needed help."
It was this one.
He was just so funny and witty.
So when I was pregnant with Heather, I flew out to California to visit Julie and her then her now ex-husband Alex. And I was in my first trimester, it was rough. But anyway, Julie drops me off at the airport to go back to Denver. And I had baby Nick and baby Sam at home. And the flight gets delayed. So I'm sitting at the airport waiting and waiting and waiting. It was like a 3 p.m. flight. Well, I didn't get home, land in Denver until 3:30 in the morning. No cell phones back then, or anything. So this couple I had been sitting next to and not even really chatting with on the plane met me at baggage claim and started talking. And they're like, "Where do you live?" And I said, 112th and Sheridan. And they we're going right there. Our daughter's picking us up. We'll get you home. And it was an older couple. So I sit in the back seat of this car. We're pulling out of the airport. And I don't know how we started talking about DIA because it was so far out. It was fairly new airport at that time. And I said, well, my dad had a lot to do with bringing this airport, here in so far out east. And the man in the front seat with his wife says, "What's your dad's name?" And I said, "Jack." And he's like, "Jack Keever?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm Bill Christopher. I'm the city manager of Westminster."
Oh, is that?
Westminster. And I mean, it couldn't to meet a stranger in the middle of the night to drive me home. And it was Bill Christopher. And so I did tell you that story back then, but he couldn't believe he had Jack's daughter in the car. Yeah. It was just such a coincidence.
Oh,
So,
that's funny.
because he was, very involved with Dad in Adams County.
Yeah, we lived in Westminster.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
city manager. Where's your dad's here? Jack? Is Jack Keever? I mean, how lucky did I get? I didn't get a bunch of strangers driving me home at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh.
You're lucky he wasn't mad at your dad.
Yeah.
He got dropped off right
actually
there.
liked
I'm glad you guys have some memories of
him. Yeah, oh yeah.
those days. Well, you know what? During the pandemic, I had this big tub of
Perfect. So you want to clear
all this newspaper stuff for
You
over
went
the
through
years.
it
I
all.
finally put that together
Yeah.
for that scrapbook.
Yeah. It was a great use
But
of
it would
time.
be interesting. The interesting thing to me in that whole scrapbook is my history as a youth and my family's history back in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Dad, Mom, I was born somewhere out east in Cleveland, but it was, 1935. So they qualified, and they rented in one of the first 2 public housing projects in the country,
Yeah.
in that
And that's where a lot of those pictures are.
Lakeview Terrace,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lots of history you were involved in, Dad.
Well, that was just our history,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, your history.
We're just sitting on the table for food.
We should have gotten paper plates.
Well,
big-
Oh, we
everybody
do.
has
Oh, we do?
unique
Okay.
Yeah.
experiences, ours happen to be in public life.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, it's fun talking about it with you guys.
You should have run for president.
Yeah, why
I always
why
did
didn't
think
you,
we'd
Jack?
run for office.
You should have run for
Yeah.
office.
There was a lot of people that wanted to run for office.
Who?
I don't know, people around, they would always say.
What, me?
You should be
Yeah.
mayor, you should be the.
Yeah, you
I
should.
that was never my bag.
Yeah, I know.
I was always happy,
You're behind the scenes.
being an assistant. to
Yeah,
someone.
yeah, like speeches.
No, I didn't like public speaking, and anyway, I was okay at assisting people.
Well, you would have been a really good president of the United States.
You're right.
I
That
think.
sounds like a daughter talking. Well, he was not lead counsel.
He wasn't lead counsel.
No. And he was at the end of his career. He was more blustery than effective then.
The
I'll be honest,
Kardashian
yeah.
guy was lead counsel, wasn't he?
Yeah, Robert
That's right.
Robert Kardashian.
Robert.
Robert.
Kardashian.
Yeah. The Kardashian's dad.
Wow.
Yeah, Robert.
He died.
Kris Jenner's ex-wife. Yeah, he died shortly after that.
So I think there's pictures of Bailey.
Yeah,
That's
that's
in your book, there is.
And I have that picture.
I know how to put together some, with his scrapbook, a story.
A story.
Write it out.
Listen, all my friends, all my life, my friends from high school said, you need to write a book.
In your family.
Yeah, you need to write a book. That's what they always said.
Is that what,
It's been used then. We'll just call it used.
yeah, it was funny. I mean, I was just naive to a lot of the implications and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, it was fun. I wanted to work for those people.
Yeah. Well, all that stuff that happened. I mean, the fact that, Carl Stokes was one of the first black mayors and he worked for him, and I always found it funny, this tall, lanky white boy, Jack Keever, working for a black man, and when that was such a time in the late 60s.
Oh, yeah, my own family had
Yeah.
skepticism.
I mean, it's just such a part of history that, I mean, I still get mad when people talk about all this race issues, and I'm like, all the way back in 1968, my dad worked for a black man. So, we need to start getting all this together.
Yes, right there without touching the disposal. That was
I
fun.
think things have kind of settled in.
They're settling a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than it was a long way ago.
See, don't get me started.
It's great, Dad. I've always loved hearing the stories and knowing I was a part of it.
I'm struggling to recall a lot of that detail, but
That's okay.
but it's so I'm glad to go through the exercise. Yeah.
What do you remember about my mom?
Oh, yeah, Virgin.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just remember the singlets.
I don't have a whole lot of memories of your mom.
German.
Strong, obstinate Germans. Ah,
No
Yeah.
nonsense, don't tell me what to do.
that's it, yeah. They got that from Grandpa. Yeah.
They were independent thinking women before that was.
Yeah. Well, I think Grandma Rose, before Grandpa, he asked her to marry him, if I remember the story Mom told me, and she didn't want to get married. And so she went off to, was it New York? And she was a secretary or something. She did something, she was working when at that time.
Grandma
women-
Singler?
Yeah, at that time women didn't work,
Right, yeah.
do they? And so she wanted to go work, and he went and followed her there and brought her back.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what Mom told me. Because you're not working, you're marrying me.
She's like, I don't want to marry
I
you.
know, but she ended up, and then he took her after Mom was telling me they had 2 or 3 young kids, and she was one of them. And moved her to Oregon,
Yeah.
Crater Lake, and he was working at Crater Lake during the Depression. I believe. Yeah, and Grandma had a nervous breakdown
Oh,
because she couldn't handle being out in the wilderness. And Mom said like a bear would come and crash down through the window and
really?
stuff,
Didn't
and
realize.
it just really
Well,
unnerved
her daughter would have had the
Three
same
young
reaction.
Yeah.
Mom,
Well,
could
you
you
know-
imagine Mom?
Yeah.
You know their grandfather's history, don't you? Out there in Medford, Oregon?
Yes,
Yeah,
I went there.
Yeah.
And I saw that. Mom wanted to take a trip there and go through all that and see the old homes and see the statue. There's a statue of,
Yeah. Well, today downtown Medford, is it?
yes.
There's on the county courthouse, there's a statue to
To August. August.
Mary's grandfather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
He was the first sheriff to kill the Millennium Lady or something. Way back when.
Yeah, she saw it. Mom, there's pictures of Mom there too with, I wanna say like Misa and
Well, we visited.
you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's
And then
Mom
Brian
standing under
did,
the
Brian and
singular
Jeannie
road.
did the most recent.
That would be
thing.
really cool
But
trip the other
wasn't
night.
Grandpa's granddad, or didn't he shoot one of the gang members?
He went after a
He went
bandit
after
up in the
a
hills
bandit.
and got
Yeah.
shot.
He
Oh,
was,
he got
he
shot.
went up to the door, from what I understand,
Okay.
to arrest the guy.
Yeah,
And when he opened the door, the guy just
yeah.
flat out shot him point blank.
But yeah, they have, there's a Singler Avenue,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
there's,
The elevator that they take.
then that thing in the town square.
There's they had when we visited there years ago, they showed us newspaper clippings, the front page of the paper, just a huge outpouring of people. There was a parade,
That's
a funeral parade or whatever they did.
And Grandpa Bell was the one who ended up being the father figure. And so he ended up learning to cook, clean, everything, and he took care of the family.
Really, all the girls
And
in
that's
a
why
way.
when he married Grandma Rose, he did all the cooking, cleaning, he did it all. And she just sat back. She
Wow.
was like the princess. And he wouldn't let her do
Well,
anything.
I think the grandfather that got shot, his wife used to prepare meals for the prisoners.
Yes,
For
for
her money,
prisoners. To earn
because there
money.
was no pension or anything.
Right, right.
You know, they say,
Something else.
Yeah, we'll get back there.
And that's part of your
We need to
life.
make that trip sometime, everybody. Yeah. And there's a book, if you all ever want it, I can give you the, I forget her name now, she's one of the third cousins or something. But, she put it all together in a book.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Is that,
Where are the- is that right?
I remember.
Like a pamphlet.
No, it's a,
Oh, okay.
with pictures and everything, the whole story.
She's up in that area, right? Yeah, I forget who it was, but